Greetings, my name is Richard Fleming, and this video is going to cover the Associate of Applied Science degree in Game Development at Johnson County Community College. If you are not in this degree program or not interested in it, turn back now or prepare to be bored. If you are interested or are in the degree program, welcome. Game development is a really fun career path, but it's also a crazy amount of work. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's a lot of people that want to do this, and there's a lot of really talented people that do this. So if you want to get into the gaming industry, great, but just be prepared to work really hard to get in, and work equally hard to stay in. This is not an easy career path. You also have to be prepared for a fair amount of instability. You see layoffs all the time in the gaming industry, especially on the AAA side, because the AAA publishers will massively staff up for a project, and then once it's completed, staff back down. So just, go in, eyes wide open. This is an intense career field. It's a lot of fun. Now, who actually is in the degree program on the professor side? Well, there's two of us, myself and our chair, Professor Russ Hanna. Mr. Hanna can be found in the Rainier Center, RC 308. I can be found in the main CIS IT office, tucked away in the corner, in room 332G, again in the Rainier Center, RC. Please do not hesitate to come in and talk to us about the degree program, whether it's about courses that you need, career options, job prospects, advice on creating your portfolio, whatever. That's part of why we're here, is to help advise you on getting into the industry. Now, that said, it would probably be a good idea to make an appointment. It's actually critical to make an appointment during the summer session. During the summer session, neither Mr. Hanna nor I maintain regular office hours at school. So if you want to talk to us during the summer, great, we will talk to you during the summer, but you need to send us an email first to arrange an appointment or communicate to us through email or something like that. Don't just show up on campus and expect to talk to us. It's very unlikely that we will actually be in our offices during the summer. During the spring and fall semesters, it's still a good idea to make an appointment because there's two of us in the department full time. We are really busy. Now, we will make time to talk with you, but it's generally speaking a good idea to make an appointment even during the fall and spring semesters, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so what does our program cover? Our program covers game programming and game design. Now, game design is kind of one of those nebulous, not well-defined terms. We have another video associated with Game 104 that covers all the job types in detail. Game designers, generally speaking, are the ones that make the game fun. It has nothing to do, or at least very little to do, with art, which is a little bit confusing because you've got jobs like graphic designers who are all about the art. Game designers, generally speaking, aren't all about the art. You need some art, but it's not all about it. If you're all about the art, then the department you want is most likely animation. The animation department is where they handle things like creating 3D models, animating the models, doing textures, creating game art assets to get into levels and stuff. That's in the animation department. If that sounds like your thing, hop on over there and talk to Jeff Byers, who is the chair of that department, and he will be able to help you out. But if programming or making the game fun and coming up with levels and game world sounds more like your thing, well, continue on listening. There's a couple of things I want to talk about the degree before we go over the specific courses. The first thing is, what can you do with this degree? It is possible to go straight into the gaming industry, the AAA side of things, with an associate's degree. It is difficult, however. You will need to have one killer portfolio if you want to go straight into the game industry with an associate's degree. And yes, that applies to programmers. Programmers, just like designers and artists, need a portfolio to get into the game industry. Do not think as a programmer you don't need one of these. You do. Every time we go to the Game Developers Conference and we talk to people, they say they want to see portfolios, even for the programmers. So, unless you've got a really killer one with some really just awesome work, it's going to be kind of hard to get in with an associate's degree because there's going to be a lot of people trying to get in who either have job experience or a 4-year degree, and that's a little hard to compete against. So you might be thinking, okay, well, if I need a 4-year degree, why am I bothering with this one? Well, a couple of reasons. On the programmer side, having a 4-year computer science degree with a 2-year associate's degree in game development will put you in a lot stronger position than just simply having a 4-year computer science degree. It shows that you know game development. And game programming is massively different from business application programming. Being able to show that on your transcript will be a major plus. In the case of game design, and this might come sound a little odd coming from me, I highly recommend against getting 4-year game design degrees. The reason being is that a 4-year game design degree cannot be transferred outside of the game industry. What are you going to do with a 4-year game design degree other than be a game designer? Yeah, it's not much, is it? That's why I recommend against those degrees. Now, there are very few of these programs that are actually solid enough that if you make it through the program, you've got a high chance of getting into the gaming industry. But even then, if you get into the gaming industry and you find out that this high pressure, unstable environment is not what you want to do for the rest of your life, you're kind of stuck. So, in the case of game design, the best path I feel, small amount of self-interest here, is to get the associate's degree in game development with a focus in design, and then proceed on to get a 4-year degree in something else. Believe it or not, it would make you an incredibly attractive game design candidate if you had an associate's degree in game design and a bachelor's in computer science, if you can handle the programming. Failing that, maybe information technology, history or mythology, maybe something focused in architecture. Design degree plus an architecture degree, oh my, would that make you a good, attractive looking level designer. All kinds of options there, and those other degrees give you additional options should you not want to stay in the game industry. That is important. So, with that out of the way, how is our program set up? Well, the first semester is pretty much the same for everybody. 104, which if you're listening to this video, most likely that's because you're in 104 right now. And 105 needs to be taken by both designers and programmers. Business of games, both people. And programming fundamentals, both people. And that brings me to a point real quick that I want to debunk about game design. Game design is not the career path you decide to go on if you're not all that great at programming and don't feel like trying to get better, and you're not all that great at art and you don't feel like trying to get better. That's not what game design is. Game design is not the easy path. It is every bit as technical and every bit as difficult as the other two paths. To be a designer, you have to have a balance of technical and artistic skill. You have got to be able to use the components that the programmers create and use and abuse them in new and interesting ways to give new and interesting gameplay experiences for the players. And you've got to be able to take the really awesome looking art that the artists have created and arrange it in such a way that the game space is pleasing to traverse through. So please don't go into design thinking that is the easy path. You still need to program. You will program in this course if you go through the design path. You are not getting out of that. And you will be doing art-related chores as well. You will not be getting out of that. Just heads up on that. After the first semester is where things start to diverge. And this is also where you have to really start paying attention to the order of courses. A great many of our courses are only taught in the spring or only taught in the fall. There's very few exceptions to this. 104, 105 is taught every semester. 102 is taught every semester. A great many of our non-game programming courses, such as Composition 1, College Algebra, are taught every semester. But there's a lot of degree-specific courses that are only taught during certain semesters. I refer you back to my earlier statement of there's only 2 of us. We can't teach that many classes. So, starting with the second semester, which is spring. Game Programming 1 for the programmers. Spring course only. Make sure you take that during the spring. Flash gaming, I believe, is taught every semester. Second semester, game design option. Design 1, prototyping, level editing. All spring only classes. The key class, if you have to fight to get into one class, it is the Design 1 class, because that is a prereq for the following fall semester courses. Don't miss that one. It will cause you a lot of grief. Game Design 1 you must get into. Prototyping, level editing, still try to get into those, but that won't completely throw you off track if you miss that one, if you miss those 2. Game Design 1 will really mess you up in terms of what you can take the next semester. Again, spring only, all 3 of those for design. Moving on to programming. Notice that there's a crossover here. Agile, artificial, both on the programming. Agile, AI on design. I don't think I really have to mention this, but those classes fill up really fast because both programs need them. In the case of those classes, the best thing I can suggest is the moment enrollment opens, go for them. Seriously. For the fall of 2014, those classes filled all 18 slots within, I believe, 4 days of enrollment opening. Within 2 weeks of enrollment opening, we had those classes plussed in so that there were no more physical seats left in the room. They fill up fast. And Agile and AI are fall-only courses. You miss them in the fall, you're waiting to the next fall to take them. Game Programming 2 is fall only. Game Design 2, World Creation, fall only. You really can't get off track on these course sequences. Moving on. Oh yes, and Game Design 2 and Game World Creation both have a Game Design 1 prereq. As I am the instructor for both of those courses, just want to let you guys know, I will not enter a waiver for Design 2 or World Creation if you have not taken Design 1. I will not do it. There's too much knowledge that I rely on from Design 1 in those courses. So you've got to hit Design 1 in the spring so you can hit Design 2 and World Creation in the fall. Moving on to the 4th semester, again, we're back to the spring. Game Capstone, both sides take that one, and that is a spring-only course. That's sort of your final project class there. Mobile Programming, that is a spring-only course again. Moving on down to the design side of things, Game Quality Assurance and Serious Game Design. Again, both spring-only courses. These, both QA and Serious Game Design, also have prereqs on them of Design 1. So again, you've got to really be sure that you hit that Design 1 class. And then, of course, you've got our list of gaming electives. You might think that's a little bit odd that some of these are listed here. Got to keep in mind, just because you're going for the design track doesn't mean you can't branch over and take a couple of the programming courses. Just because you're going on the programming track doesn't mean you can't branch out and take a couple of the design courses. So you can mix and match on those. And that pretty much covers the degree program. Again, I can't stress this enough. Watch your course sequences. So many of our classes are spring, fall only. The counselors in the Student Center should have a chart you need some visual assistance with this, showing the flow of classes and which ones are spring and fall only. Mr. Hanna and I also have these charts printed out and in our offices if you want to come and talk with us about it. Just please pay attention to that. We've had multiple students run across this problem, and I don't want it to happen to you. And with that, that's all I have on our degree program. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your final projects in Capstone.